I want to bring in Dr. Kavita Patel. She's former Obama White House Health Policy Director. I'm so glad you're here. I have so many questions, but I want to start with, what do you think the immediate impact of this single-dose vaccine could be?
Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. I know so much to talk about. So I think the immediate impact is really on the world. This is, as you mentioned, an incredibly stable vaccine to use, especially in developing countries where freezers, frankly, are just not practical. So I think this is good news for the entire world. It's putting all of us who see how highly effective the first two vaccines that we have in the United States have been in a bit of a conundrum, because, Stephanie, I'll say it, while these results seem disappointing, trying to achieve 95% was never something we thought possible. And I think it makes even more critical some of the Biden goals to get as many shots into arms now as quickly as possible. And the J&J vaccine gives us one of those tools, because it does offer pretty high protection, especially against severe disease.
J&J says its vaccine is 72% effective. Can you help us understand the difference? Because 95% for Moderna and Pfizer, I don't know, that to the layman like me, I'd want to go for the 90.
Look, I don't blame you, Stephanie, and that's why I think it's really important to remember when the trials were done and where they were done. Just to put it into context, what we saw from Pfizer and Moderna on their data did not include trial participants that had these variants and some of the countries in which these variants have emerged. So interestingly enough, you've got Johnson & Johnson, which was in trial in Latin American countries, as well as data from South Africa. Remember, Moderna did just put out data last week that against that South African variant, that they did not have that 95%, Stephanie. So I do think that putting the 95 against the 72, couple of things, you're right. But I would also tell you that it is more critical that we get as many Americans vaccinated as soon as possible. If we can do that with the two more highly effective vaccines in a shorter time, I'm all for it. But Stephanie, I'm looking at those numbers that the Biden team put out. It's going to be summer, end of summer. These variants, there are more out there. And the ones that we know of that are frightening some of us are here in the United States. So we do need to get these shots out. And I just want to point out that 85%, if you look at the sub-analysis for Johnson & Johnson, it does show an 85% risk reduction in severe disease, which is very good news.
So for the person out there who's saying, wait a minute, if it doesn't work well on these new variants, maybe I shouldn't take it at all, help that person understand why they should take it no matter what.
Look, I think that where we're at in the country, including the vaccine clinics that I'm working in, we don't have the luxury of having choices. As you've reported on, supply is scarce. So we are looking at trying to get what vaccines we can get from the federal government and states into people's arms. What I would be very cautious, first of all, we've got a little bit of science by press release, but they've been doing a good job, at least, at getting us as much data as possible. What I would try to look at is understanding differences by age. We know that sometimes these vaccines don't work as well in people over the age of 80. I'm not sure if the trial had participants over the age of 80, but we would want to see if there's a certain demographic, and especially the demographic that would benefit from this shot, Stephanie, is one that is a high risk demographic of not getting that second shot. For other vaccines that we have where you need more than one dose, we can see anywhere from a 25% to a 60% drop off in that second shot. And we know that with one shot, you can at least get efficacy or effectiveness to fight severe, moderate and severe COVID, which is what we're most worried about in the clinical world.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.